Hello and welcome to the Freelance Bookkeeper Practice Tip. My name is Gabrielle Fontaine and I'm the author of the Freelance Bookkeeper blog. And today's topic is about accounting conferences. Are they worth the investment? And that's a question that may have passed your mind more than once if you're aware of the many conferences that are available to us as bookkeeping professionals. And I have to tell you that if you've considered a conference and you haven't gone to one, that you may want to get the answer to this question. Have you considered ever attending these? Because this investment in attending one of these live conferences really is substantial. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There is a conference fee that can usually be several $100s. There's travel costs, hotel, often you have to pay at least for some of your meals. And then of course there's the cost of time away from your office that could otherwise be used in doing billable work. Well, let's tackle this question and I'll share my thoughts on what I think the best strategy is concerning accounting conferences. I'll explain why I recommend attending at least one per year. I'll share with you 5 takeaways from the conferences that I attended this past year, and then how to choose and make attending a conference more than just a wishful aspiration in 2016, because I do know that the vast majority of us never attend conferences. And of course there's more along the way in this video. So why do I recommend that you go to conferences? Well, our industry is changing very quickly and much of this is being driven by the mobile technology. Our clients are expecting us to be in touch with what's going on with the technology and bookkeeping, how it's all changing very quickly. And most of the business owners now are millennials. That's the biggest demographic in the United States right now, and they are tech savvy and they are heavy users of online technology. Therefore, that's where they are taking their business and we need to be there to support them. So we need to build our skills not only with the technology, but we also need to know the trends. What's going on in our industry and in business in general? What do clients want now? Because I will tell you, it is changing very quickly and you seriously risk becoming obsolete if you're not keeping up. So the conferences definitely help us to do that, and I'm going to illustrate that in a few minutes. Now, your strategic connections as well have become extremely important. Our community is now, again because of online technology, the world is becoming smaller, and our bookkeeping and accounting community is also global. Going to these conferences gives you the opportunity to build these in-person relationships. And I will share with you, just from the few conferences that I attended this past year, I have made connections with accounting professionals in the UK as well as in Australia. And I would not have been able to do that if I had only stayed in my office or stayed local. So it's a big opportunity for us. So as I promised, I'm going to share with you 5 takeaways that I got this year from the conferences that I went to. And it's just kind of to give you a taste of what you can get from going to these conferences. So number 1 is your online presence is critical. Well, that's really not anything new, is it? We know that that's important, especially if you're running a virtual bookkeeping business like I am. But your online presence is even more important than before because clients are in the cloud. As I mentioned, the millennials are very, it's technology is like second nature to them. And your website as well has become our virtual office, and that's whether you're operating a virtual bookkeeping business or not. Clients are going to your website in order to check you out. It's how they know whether or not they can trust you. They're also looking and judging us long before they ever pick up the phone. Their first impression, which is a lasting one, is coming from our website. So at the conference, what I heard about was, if memory serves, it was something like 25% of accounting professionals do not even have a website. What about you? Do you have one? That's a big disadvantage if you don't, because it means clients cannot find you now because where they are looking is online. And then something like 70% of those who do have websites do not have effective websites that add credibility. And I tell you, it made me reassess my own websites and realize that mine needs some work as well, and I'm in the process of doing that. So you're going to see some changes this coming year on my own websites because of what I learned. As well, social media is becoming more and more powerful. We used to kind of think it was fluffy. Yeah, it's a good thing to add. It's a way to stay connected. It's extremely powerful in your business, and a real shocker for me that I heard again and again at these conferences is about Facebook. I'm personally not a big fan of Facebook, especially for business. I'm there because of business, but I don't really like Facebook. I'm much more of a LinkedIn girl. However, what I was hearing is that Facebook is becoming more and more important for networking, and that includes for getting clients. I kept hearing story after story about those who are getting their clients through Facebook. So that was a big eye-opener for me, and again, some changes that I see I need to make in my own business. I would not have known this really. I had a little bit of a sense of it because more and more I need to go to Facebook for business purposes, but I really didn't realize I would have been behind if I did not go and find out what everybody's doing with Facebook. The second takeaway is about a new approach to pricing. Now again, if you've been going to these conferences, you've heard a lot about value pricing as a buzzword, also using flat fees. We've talked about it, but now it is not just something that a few people are doing and you hear about. It's becoming the standard. It's what people are doing. And the reason why is, again, keeps coming back to the technology. We're becoming more and more efficient. If we're charging by the hour, that means we're losing money because you're going to get to do the work that we do quicker and quicker, which means you're billing less and less to your clients. Billing by the hour doesn't work anymore. So we need to shift to flat fees or value pricing. And they're actually two different things. But how to implement flat fees and value pricing is the stumbling block that everyone has been struggling with. And the big fear is always, and if you've tried to do it, you know this, I've felt this as well, we get afraid to quote a flat price to clients because if we underestimate, we're going to lose our shirt. And that does happen. It's a real danger. Well, I was so happy to see at these conferences, the two in particular that I'm talking about is at QB Connect, QuickBooks Connect, as well as at SleaderCon, and you'll hear a little more about them. I saw viable ways where we can successfully start implementing, in particular, value pricing, using a collaborative approach to help us to see what clients value most. And that's been the issue, is because we don't know how clients value us, but there's a way to do it now, and it's pretty cool. There's new software that's being developed and has been developed that makes this so much easier, and you're going to be hearing about this from me in January. I hope you can hear the excitement, but you're going to hear more about this in this coming month. The third takeaway is about automation of workflow. Daily or data entry is finally dead. Now, we've heard about this for years, but I wasn't buying it, and I've been looking at the technology. But this year, now, it is. Apps can be integrated seamlessly so that it's literally doing the bookkeeping for us. And our role is changing rapidly. Some people are afraid that that means bookkeepers start to become irrelevant. That is not the case, but what we do need to do is become data managers, technology consultants, as well as tax and business advisors. Are you ready to step into those roles? We're being thrust into it very quickly. These are key opportunities. I see them as that for us. The fourth takeaway is the power of your ideal day. And I heard about this both from Joe Woodard as well as Darren Root, who are both major movers and shakers in our industry. The big picture view of why we do what we do is really important. It's the vision of how you want your life and your business, which are totally integrated, how do you want that to turn out? This is a proactive approach to how you want your business to be. Are you taking the role of a technician or an entrepreneur? You can run your business or it can run you, and these are two very different paths, and this became very clear in what I heard from both Darren and Joe. And especially Darren was focusing in on building your business so that you can have more and more ideal days. It's based on a clear vision of how you want your life to be and where your business supports that in an intentional way to get the results that you want. And then Joe Woodard said, we should ask this daily question: what have I done today to work toward my vision? So my question is, do you have a clear vision? It sure made me think that my vision needs to be even clearer. And then the fifth takeaway is about networking with strategic contacts. And really for me, over the years, and why I do attend conferences every year, is because the greatest benefit for me is not actually all the training classes. And of course there's tons and tons of training classes, both technical and on a business level. It's really the connections that I've made and the access that you get to industry leaders. They're very approachable, but you would not be able to get to them any other way, and it makes a difference. The key, of course, is following up after the conferences, but it makes a huge difference. These connections have literally changed the course of my own business and brought me tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm not exaggerating. And it's because I've been able to find my own business mentors over the years because of attending these conferences, as well as connecting with important colleagues who have been a huge help in my business and have become dear friends as well. And just a few pictures to show you with Mike Michalowicz, some dear friends surrounding Profit First, as well as the software vendors. I have relationships with software vendors that have been extremely helpful as well. Like I said, they're powerful connections, and the reason why is because we're able to influence how they develop the software. And this year in particular, I heard that from several of the software vendors that I have relationships with, that they love to come to these conferences because they do connect with us and they know that they can build products that really serve the market, and of course for them are profitable. And an example of that this year in particular is a connection that was made with HubDoc and SmartVault, and you're going to be hearing a lot more about what we're working on together. I'm involved with them, and that's what this picture was from. This is with HubDoc and SmartVault. So again, I'm going to give you a teaser. Stay tuned because there's some exciting stuff coming up on this front as well. Are you convinced yet that going to industry conferences, accounting conferences, are important for us to move our business forward? So what are the best conferences for bookkeepers? Well, we're a growing force at these accounting conferences. I've really seen the demographics change dramatically over the years. When I first started going to them, it was primarily CPAs and, who were tech savvy, as well as a lot of IT, real techie people that were there. That has shifted. It is primarily bookkeepers now that I see at these conferences. And in particular, now I don't go to every single one of the ones I'm going to list here, but these are some of the ones that you may want to be taking a look at. I do go to Scaling New Heights, that is surrounding QuickBooks. QuickBooks Connect is obviously about QuickBooks. That's done by Intuit themselves. There's also XeroCon is their conference. There's Sage Summit. So those are the software conferences. And then the overall accounting technology conference that I attend is SleaderCon, and in 2016 that's going to be called Account Techs. And then from industry associations, we have the ICB, which is actually international, but there are conferences in the UK. There's IPBC that also has a conference, and that's for Canadian bookkeepers. And then the AICPA, which is really for accountants, CPAs, they have many conferences in different areas and all over the country, so you might want to check out their website to see the different conferences, and you can get what you want to focus on there as well. You don't need to be an accountant to attend most of them. So which conferences will I attend? Well, my schedule, I've made the plan, and that's why we're doing this video, because this is the time when you want to be planning for 2016. I go to Scaling New Heights, and this year it's going to be on May 22nd to the 25th in the Bahamas. Also ProfitCon, which is surrounding Profit First. The second conference ever is going to be September 29th through October 1st in New Jersey, and they're still making some plans on that. And then QuickBooks Connect, which the dates have not yet been announced, but it's usually in the early part of November, and it's usually in San Jose, California. That's only been around for 2 years, but it has been definitely worth it. And then Account Techs, which was formerly Sleater Conference or SleaterCon, is going to be November 13th to 16th, and that one's in Las Vegas. So if you're going to attend any of these conferences, do let me know, and we will get together. So here's my conclusion and final thoughts on this topic of attending conferences. Is it worth the investment? Absolutely. I hope I've convinced you of that. The decision I made this past year that I later regretted was that I had signed up and planned to go to Scaling New Heights. I believe it was in June in New Orleans, but then I got so busy I felt like I could not take the time out of the office, so I canceled my plans to go to Scaling New Heights. I canceled my I had booked things, I just canceled them, and then I regretted it. I did watch, they had some of the sessions were actually streaming through the internet, and I watched the ones that I could, but it really made me feel the pain of not being there, and I'm sure that I lost some opportunities this year because I did not attend. So I learned my lesson. I am going to Scaling New Heights this year, and I will not cancel that. So make plans to attend at least one conference per year and focus on what you want to get out of it. Take action on what you learn. Don't just go absorb it, be excited, and then go back to your life and forget about what you learned. Put it into action, and then follow up with the connections that you make, because as I've explained, it makes a huge difference in the direction of your business. And then track your results. You'll see results both directly and indirectly, and I guarantee it will affect your business for the good. So what are your next steps? How can you make attending a bookkeeping or accounting conference a reality for you, especially if you've never attended one before? Choose proactively to invest in your business and yourself, because you get to up your skills and take your business to that next level, because you'll never feel 100% ready. If you're kind of an introvert and shy, me too, I get scared every time. Just resolve to stretch your comfort zone and do it anyway. That's the biggest hurdle for us. Make specific plans now so that you make it happen, because once you make the plans, then you're more committed to it and you're more likely to follow through. There is cost involved, as we mentioned. It is substantial, but you can afford it, and this is how to do it. Choose one conference that you want to attend, just one of them, and then set up an automated savings account that's in a separate goal-based bank, okay? And you can save as little as $30 per week, and that will add up to enough money to go to one conference. And if you think about it, that really should be less than 1 billable hour per week. Could you work, if you don't have any money to spare, could you work just 1 extra hour per week and sock it away so that you could go to a conference? You would be investing in your business. And I do recommend using a Smarty Pig account, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about that, so you won't be tempted to touch that money. You just put it away automatically, and then you'll be delighted because there will be no excuses for not attending. So my question is, which conference will you attend this year? I am going to give you a handout so that you can get some of the resources that I mentioned, including looking up Smarty Pig. And if you liked this little video, I would also invite you to check out the TFB Premium lessons, because this is very much like one of our lessons in the sense that this is action based. It's learning, but it's also doing. So I hope to see you again on another practice tip or in TFB Premium.